I like hearing some of the rhetoric that we're hearing out of Pierre Poilievre, for example. Pierre Poilievre is coming out and he's saying some things that sound a little bit more libertarian than social conservative, that kind of thing. But that's what I like to see. And if that's the party coming out of Pierre Poilievre, if Pierre Poilievre is pulling forward a new team of people in the conservative movement that's going to move more towards civil liberties, move towards the honoring of private property. I mean, this is something that's absolutely paramount to free, fair, and open societies, private property, the respecting of private property. This is the biggest thing that the liberals, in my opinion, have been going against, whether it's, trying to make new rules where they can take your property from you, or stepping in and making decisions for you. The ultimate property is yourself. By government decree, by order in council, tell you what medical procedures you have to take. That is something moving in the wrong direction. To see somebody moving more on what I like to say is the liberty-oriented way of things, that seems like a great move. And I have here with me tonight another guy who shares these ideals. Let's move towards a better future where you have more choice in that future. So without further ado, let's introduce for my riding, the Sea to Sky and West Vancouver riding, Marcus Wong. Thanks for joining me tonight, my man.
Hey, thank you so much. Can you hear me all right?
I can hear you good. It's all good. I unmuted you for a second there,
Perfect.
and I was hearing myself back for a minute. But no, super short notice. Thanks. We went out for coffee, everybody, today, and we were chatting about stuff. And I was really stoked to hear, your opinions on these kind of topics. Like, private property is paramount. It's a big thing.
Pretty paramount. Absolutely. You know what? I'm a freedom-loving conservative. I don't know how else to say it, right? And so I want to be able to bring back that freedom to Canada. Back when I was a kid, and I think we're about the same age, Clyde, Canada was a country that the world admired, that we aspired to be, and we were proud and we cherished that country. I mean, somewhere along the way, we'd sort of lost that. So I want to get us back to that, right? To the glory days, as it were. But we also need to look forward and make sure that we're plotting course ahead, right? In terms of, what we're seeing in terms of happening in the economy, in terms of limiting, our free speech or ability to make choices for our families or our health outcomes. That's pretty crucial stuff, right? And so I want to restore that and give people the power back, right? For your paycheck to spend it where you want, invest it in, whether you want to invest it in a business or your children's education or whatever. That should be your choice, right? And so absolutely.
Totally. And I was telling the chat about something we were talking about earlier today. This concept that the government's like your landlord. Like, and you should look at it. We should have a relationship with our government like you would have a relationship with a landlord. And the best relationship with a landlord is a landlord that leaves you alone. And you never have to talk to, always just does the things that he says he's going to do. You do what you say you're going to do. You pay your bills, you pay your mortgage, you take care of the place, you don't wreck it, and he doesn't bother you. And this is the sort of relationship that you would want to have with government. You pay your taxes and they're not exorbitant. You pay, you get the services that you ask for out of government and no more. You don't want any more, and they leave you alone. They're not in there saying, oh, your drapes aren't the way I'd like them, and you didn't mow the lawn the way I would like you to mow the lawn, and oh, don't hang that thing on the front door. I wouldn't like it if you did that. Could you ask permission next time you did? All of this stuff that we're getting from our government now is just like it's overboard. It's too intrusive.
Yeah. Absolutely, right? So we have to find that balance that we used to have, right? And so that's absolutely crucial. And I think I heard you talking about, the importance of this upcoming election in 2025, if that's when it's going to be, or maybe sooner if the government falls. So absolutely, it's crucial for everybody to exercise their right to vote, if you're Canadian. And so that's absolutely important. But also in the meantime, what people might not know is that there's a nominations race happening across Canada for the Conservative Party. So essentially what that means is that members of the party will get to choose who represents the party in their riding at the next election, whatever that is, right? And so that's absolutely happening. And so I want to encourage folks that, check out who's running in your riding and see, what they're about, what they represent, their qualifications, all that sort of stuff, because we want to make sure that we have quality people in Ottawa who can really stand up for everyday citizens like you and me, right? And advocate for that and fight for that and say, no, actually, you know what? This is what the residents of my community need and want, and here's why. And, you know, certainly in my writing, I believe that I am the best candidate for that. I'm the only one who's born and raised in the community. I understand our entire writing inside out, like the back of my hand. And I'm passionate about it. These are my neighbors. These are my family members, my cousins, aunts and uncles, and all that sort of stuff. So I want to do them right and come back from Ottawa and say, and look at them in the eye to be like, you know what? I stood up for you. I stood up for your concerns and your issues, and I fought for it, right? And so that's important. This is relationship between the elected official and the people that I think perhaps sometimes get lost, right? We elect these people, they go off to Ottawa, we never hear from them again. And that's not right. You know, it should be about a relationship, and you keep the dialogue going. And, you know, you hear about their concerns, their issues, and say, hey, how can I fix it? How can I help it make it better? Because that's what a public servant is there to serve the people and, you know, help to make their lives better. So absolutely.
So I've been saying this to my whole community here on YouTube, and I call it my community, is the community here on YouTube. These people are amazing, and it's fantastic. I'm so fortunate to have them with me every week and every time I post a video. But I've been having these conversations with these people and saying, you know, I think the most important thing is that, you know, if you don't like the people in parties, like say you think, oh, you know, it's the mono party. I keep hearing this, the mono party. You've got this party, that party, this party. Who cares? They're all the same. They all, you know, they're all going to go this way. Well, if you don't like that, change the people in the party. Like, you need to get involved in the party politics, and it's not like once you swear allegiance to one party, you're not allowed to go and talk with the other parties. You can sign up, be part of this party, and you can choose who you want in your riding for that party, and then go to that party and choose your person that you want in that. And this is a great way to change the party. If you think it's a mono party, get in there and pick someone who's not the mono party guy. You know, you can have debate within the party, and that's what I'm trying to encourage people to do. And, you know, for this election that we're not even sure when it's going to happen. It could happen to, you know, in a couple of weeks. It could happen in a couple of months. We don't know. But you have to be registered, and that's the main thing to know. If you want to be able to, you have to get yourself registered, because if there is a snap thing, what kind of window do people even have if there's like because there is rumors that something might happen soon.
Yeah, so I don't know about other parties. I can only speak for the Conservative Party, of which I am a member. So for us, what happens is that head office or headquarters will announce for each riding a date for when your vote is. When they announce it, 48 hours after the announcement, membership sales will close. So if you were wanting to vote for somebody to represent your party, that's the time limit. And if you join after that, you can join the party, but you won't be eligible to vote in the nomination. So it's absolutely crucial to getting your vote or your membership rather. And the shortest membership is 1 year, so it's $15, or you can do, I think, up to 5 years, right? So, you know, if you're sort of still learning about politics and learning about different issues, you know, maybe the 1 year membership is a great way to start and sort of get a sense of who the players are, you know, what are their ideas, what are their platform and policy solutions going forward. So, you know, I would certainly encourage folks to get out there. I know in our riding, we've been sort of hearing rumors that announcement may be coming soon. So I've been telling folks who have been to, you know, events with me and heard me speak to be like, hey, you know, sign up now, because you don't want to miss it, right? Because if you miss it, you miss it, and that's going to be a huge shame.
And it's 48 hours. I mean, like
48 hours, yeah.
Everyone's busy, and I get it. And like, if you know, if you don't catch up on the news cycle, and I report on stuff every single day, every single weekday, and twice a day usually. So you miss a report, you didn't hear about that thing. You've got 48 hours, and then you're too late. You're too late. You don't get a say in this. So, you know, it is a good reminder to get out there and make sure that you're registered. If your thought is to vote in those elections, like that's the whole thing. Like, nobody's forcing anybody to vote one way or the other. It's always just the fact that if you do want to vote and you do want to have your say, make sure that you don't miss the boat, because that boat could sail any minute, and that's the whole idea.
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah, it's a funny story because, like, there's an elderly couple who was texting me. They're like, "Oh, we want to support you, Marcus, but we're away on holiday, and we'll join when we come back. It's not a big deal, Marcus." I said, "No, no, no, you don't get it. Like 48 hours could come and go, and so you might miss it." So I texted them the link, and they're like, "Okay, we'll do it, Marcus."
So once that 48 hours goes, though,
Yeah.
then you have some time to choose who you want to vote for. It's not like you have to make the decision on that in that 48 hours. So.
Oh no, absolutely no. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, that's great.
So that's just when the process starts. Yeah. There's a bit of breathing room. So once you join, and of course, it is up to each individual voter to choose who they think is the best candidate. And I'm certainly here to make a plea that I believe I am the strongest candidate, and I encourage you to go check out my website, marcuswong.ca. It's got a lot of information about who I am, my biography, my qualifications, but also what I stand for, which I think is absolutely crucial. I think there's a lot of people who are haven't really thought through what they stand for and how they're going to move forward to help fix things. And that's absolutely an important piece. And so I encourage you to go check it out.
Well, I'm just pulling up the website in the meantime. It's a little different when I'm doing a live show. I gotta make adjustments to the thing. For anybody who's watching this after the fact, yeah, it's not as smooth when I'm doing things live. It's not quite the same process. But let's pull this up. We've got marcuswong.ca, the website up here. Here you are with Pierre and his lovely lady. Obviously getting, it's not an official endorsement, but it is, hey, a lot of people like what Pierre is doing. You seem to be talking about a lot of similar things, which I'm encouraged by, especially in British Columbia and our particular region. I know all of Canada is dealing with this, but our particular region, housing is such a big issue. It is massive here, and like I can't understate that at all. And the measures I think that the Liberals and the NDP have been doing, like NDP in British Columbia under the province, but the Liberals are putting this out forward. I think they're making big mistakes because they're trampling over property rights. And I know people, their knee-jerk reaction, for example, what the NDP did here, to basically anyone who does Airbnb on a separate piece of residence, they're going to get these exorbitant fines. And the Liberals are like, yeah, we're going to do that too. Instead of looking at regulation and saying, oh, did you know that Airbnb is regulated different than the hotel industry and they've got a leg up on other businesses? How about we just even the playing field and maybe it won't be as lucrative? Different ideas. It's not, but the knee-jerk reaction is to get that win, like we're punishing the bad, owners, and I think that's a wrong approach. I think the best approach is to protect property rights, move forward with that in mind first and foremost, and then look for reasonable solutions that aren't harming one group and benefiting another group, instead of actually just trying to benefit all Canadians across the board, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a big believer in collaboration and problem solving, and so that's why becoming a member of Parliament really appeals to me, because I want to go fix things. I want to go make it better, so that the lives of my neighbors and friends and all that sort of stuff are better. Essentially, your community is improved. But I also believe in incentives and really enabling people to make the right choices without restricting them, right? And I think that's a crucial piece. And we talked about that during coffee. Is that how can we create incentives for people to help us find the solutions we need, whether it's for housing, whether it's for job creation or for starting businesses, all that sort of stuff, right? And so there's a sort of a creative element, shall you say, that's been missing. Instead of taxing us to death and hoping that somehow fixes things, let's actually move the dial. Let's find policy solutions that actually address the issues and actually get us further, instead of just sort of like mucking about in the mud here.
Yeah, absolutely. I find it's like an opposite thing when you look at what Liberals or NDP are doing, or I mean the Greens go way over into left field with them.
Yeah.
I was calling them watermelons tonight. But what they do is disincentives. So they, the whole process is, well, we're going to punish people that are doing well in a certain way, instead of incentivizing good behavior. Why don't we cut regulation for this kind of business and we'll see more of that, instead of we don't like what these people are doing, let's punish them. It always comes down to that. And it's always limit freedom, limit people's ability to enjoy the fruits of their labor, enjoy the property that they've acquired over their lifetime. And it's always a punishment aspect, but it's always brought forward in this idea of altruism. We're doing it for the right reasons. We're punishing you for your own good. Like, what are we doing? I can't stand it. It drives me nuts.
So there's a fundamental difference in, you know, ideas of how we want to make the country better, right? And so I think that's why it's crucial that we have a majority government, conservative one, in the next election. And that's why it's also crucial to make sure that we have the right candidates who will become the right MPs, right? Because, you know, Pierre's great, he's got great ideas, but he also needs a team, you know, and a majority team in Parliament who can really bring ideas to the table and speak up for the community, right? Because otherwise, then, you know, we don't have the tools that we need to build the house, as it were, that we need, right? And so I'm a big believer that we need to have quality MPs. So I certainly want to encourage folks to think long and hard to be, okay, who can actually do the job? Who will actually bring the policy to the table and help make Canada better? In addition to, of course, winning the campaign and, you know, winning your riding. That's absolutely important. But, you know, let's not forget about the governing piece as well, which is absolutely important.
And the kind of guy who could ring you up and say, "You want to go for a coffee?" I mean, like,
absolutely, right? Yeah.
That was really cool. And to find out for the audience here, we got yakking. Half the time we were talking about food because it turns out we're both foodies. I'm really into barbecuing, but I'm also really into Japanese food because I used to live in Japan, and you've been to Japan as well, and you know lots of different Asian foods, and I'm a huge barbecue guy, so I'm gonna have to have you over for a barbecue sometime. I got to show you how it's done.
Absolutely, thank you. Yeah. I mean, like, food is such an integral part of community, right? And that's what I'm also all about. I'm about community building, and so much community happens around food, right? So, you know, one of my great ideas is that obviously, as a member of Parliament, I want to keep this relationship going with the community, with everyday citizens. And maybe it's over food, right? Everybody come over for a community barbecue, and let's talk about the issues. What are the things, you know, that you want to see fixed or addressed, or what's going well, what's not going well, and have that ongoing relationship. So that when I go to Ottawa, I can say, hey, bam, 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 these are the things in our community, and here's how we're going to fix it. And I've heard from so-and-so from this community, from that community, and here's how we can work together. And hey, you MP in Saskatchewan and Nova Scotia, maybe we can collaborate on this and come up with a great policy, right? And that's actually when really cool things happen and moves us forward and makes the country better and brings innovation to the table, right? Canada used to be that country.
Yeah.
We somehow lost our way, and we need to find it back, man, because otherwise things are not going to go well.
Well, we're the same people. We can get it back. We can have it back.
We have it in us. And so, you know, I'm a big believer, and I've always said this to my team, my family, my friends, that, you know, Canada is not just my country. It's not just your country. It's actually our country. Mm-hmm. And so we actually have a moral imperative to work together and find common ground, find common solutions, and solve the problems of the day, right? Put aside the petty differences and say, okay, what is actually best for us as a country, as a community? And if we can really focus our energies into that, man, do you know what we're going to achieve? It's to be pure greatness.
Yeah, I think it could be fantastic. So, like I said, get out there, everybody. Get out there if you want to vote in these elections, in the party elections. You have to be registered. Make sure that you don't forget. Get out there, register. Don't forget to check out marcuswong.ca. Great place to. Zoom right back up. marcuswong.ca.
There we go.
Get over there. Check it out. Obviously, people are in different ridings. Check out who's looking to become the conservative contender in your riding or whatever party. Just get in there because you can't make a difference. You can't make a change. You can't do something unless you've done something. Get out there, give it a go, and make sure you do that. I want to thank you so much, Marcus, for coffee today, as well as coming on the show and just talking. Be candid. We need to see more of that from our political class in this country. And when I get that, I feel warm heart, and I want to see more of this.
Thank you so much. Thanks. You've been great, and I've loved hearing your ideas as well, because you're such a creative thinker. And so, obviously, post-election, if I win, when I win,
when you win,
I'd love to continue this dialogue, and let's have those ideas coming. And I don't know if you do this with your audience, but if you ever do meetups, with your audience, maybe we should do a meetup. Hey,
yeah,
you and me and folks from the community, and like let's go have coffee, or let's go for beer, or I don't know, whatever. We can figure something out, and let's talk about the issues of the day and how we can all work together and get this going.
I could, yeah, let's make that happen.
Yeah,
let's do that.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds good.
All right, brother. We'll see you very soon, and thanks so much for joining. Cheers.
Okay, bye now.